Today, it's my honor and privilege to join in this announcement of a guilty verdict in the case of United States versus Josh Duggar.
It took about 7 hours for a federal jury to decide Josh Duggar's fate, finding him guilty on 2 charges of receipt and possession of child pornography. We've been bringing you developments all day on KARK.com, and as we begin here at 4 p.m., former reality TV star Josh Duggar is in federal custody tonight. We're going to get a legal perspective on how we got to this point in just a few moments and what's next. But we begin with breaking news anchor Mitch McCoy with what happened in court today. Mitch.
Well, Mallory, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. The jury came back with their verdict mid-morning, deciding guilty on both of those child porn charges. Over the last 6 days of the trial, the U.S. attorney said Duggar was the only one there at the time that illegal child sexual abuse material was being downloaded and viewed on his computer. The defense has been reiterating points, saying the investigator ignored other possible suspects because, quote, they were so starstruck about the possibility of prosecuting Josh Duggar. The U.S. attorney and the defense spoke right after that guilty verdict.
Regardless of their status in society, regardless of their wealth, regardless of their fame, this case shows that no person is above the law.
We respect the jury's verdict, and we look forward to continuing this fight on appeal.
You heard the defense's comment there. It was very brief, only a sentence or two, but you heard him say that they do plan on appealing today's verdict. There were brief arguments on Duggar's custody status, the judge ultimately ruling that he will remain in jail while awaiting sentencing. That is expected to happen in about 4 months. He faces up to 20 years in prison and hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. Mallory?
And Mitch McCoy live in the studio. Mitch, thank you. We want to send it over to former prosecutor Kelly Ward. She joins us live. She's now a partner at Kemp's and Ward Law Firm. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today. We want to begin with your thoughts on today's verdict.
Well, Mallory, I'm not surprised by the verdict. The prosecution had a strong case. They had evidence that there was child pornography on a computer that was associated with Josh Duggar. Of course, the defense, they put forth a good argument that the computer could have been hacked, that there was no direct evidence that he was the one that was downloaded the child pornography, but in the end, the prosecution was able to put forth more evidence that Mr. Duggar had committed acts of child molestation against 4 victims that were under the age of 12. And with that evidence, in combination with what was found on the computer, the jury thought that that was enough to convict him of the 2 charges.
And can you tell us what comes next? Can you walk us through how the sentencing process will work?
Sure. So in federal court, there would not be a jury sentencing as there would be in state court. There is a pre-sentence investigation that's ordered by the judge. It's done by the U.S. Probation Office. They compile a report about the defendant, in this case, Josh Duggar's criminal history, family history, just basically everything about the person and the offense, and they provide that to the court. And then there is a sentencing hearing, which takes place about anywhere from 3 to 6 months. They're saying about 4 months in this case from the actual verdict. So in state court, it's a little different in that there would be a jury sentencing immediately after the guilty verdict, and we would know a sentence, today or tomorrow.
So is the sentencing, you say, typical for cases like these?
Yes, so in the 2 charges that he was convicted of, the minimum sentence is 5 years for the receipt of child pornography. So, and that's one thing the judge was looking at when he was considering whether to release him pre-sentence, is that he is facing a minimum sentence of 5 years in the Bureau of Prisons. So that him being detained prior to his sentencing is presumed unless the defense can come up with clear and convincing evidence that he's not a danger to the community, which is tough when you've just been convicted of 2 sex offenses.
Kelly Ward joining us live this afternoon. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us, walking us through that process of what comes next. We appreciate you. Thank you again.